In life, there's only one thing you can do that can control the outcome of everything you do. That is to own full and complete responsibility over everything that happens to you. Now you might think that that's a bit too aggressive, a little bit too extreme. Why would I be responsible for something that someone else does to me? Why would I be responsible for something that I didn't do or were part of, like a natural disaster? You think that I might be a little bit extreme. You might think that I might be a little bit over the top. But the truth is, extreme ownership is the only way that will allow you to take control over the outcome of your life. So everything that happens in my life that is negative, it's my fault. Everything. And I always start from that premise. Whenever something happens that I need to fix, that I need to change, that I need to solve, first I look at it through the lens of this is my fault. The lens of accountability, the lens of ownership. I own my responsibility. I own my duty. I don't outsource responsibility. So in the end, it's down to me to solve it. When I stopped outsourcing what happens to me, or at least the responsibility of what happens to me, when I stopped doing that, I started to actually achieve more because I assumed, I acknowledged that this is for me to solve because it's my fault. Extreme ownership is not just a cliche or something that sounds cool. It's effectively the only realistic way you can run your life, your business, your family, in a way that will actually allow you to predict the outcome and result of things. You can't predict everything, that's a given. But what you can do is, as soon as something happens that you did not predict, something negative that is, you assume full responsibility. I'll give you an example. In my business, I hire a lot of people. Whenever there's an issue with an employee, that's my fault. If someone is not doing their job correctly, that's my fault because I didn't train them properly. Whenever I need to fire someone, that's my fault because I didn't hire correctly. Whenever there's an issue with a student, that's my fault. Whenever a student is demotivated and they don't practice, my fault. Whenever a teacher is having a problem with a parent, my fault. Whenever marketing doesn't work properly and we spend more money than what we make, my fault. Doesn't matter what happens. If there's anything that doesn't go according to plan, my fault. My suggestion to you is that you do that in all things in life. In business, in your family. If your family is starting to break down, relationships are more and more difficult and toxic, your fault. Stop looking at things the other way around. Stop looking at things as if someone is doing something to you. My family breaks down, that's my fault. My relationship breaks down, that's my fault. Is that toxicity in the house? My fault. If I can't provide support and endorse my family's dreams and goals and pursuits, that's my fault. And that's also my responsibility to fix. My job is to support, to nurture, to cultivate a spirit of entrepreneurship and courage and bravery. And if that's not the case in my environment, that's my fault. I need to speak more positively, be more motivational, less critical, give more positive feedback. I need to be more nurturing and caring. I need to be more organized. I need to work harder and smarter. I need to take over. It's my responsibility to do so. However, it is also my responsibility to give others the tools to own their own responsibilities. This is not about taking over and doing things instead of others or for others. No, it's about a culture of ownership. It's about a culture of accountability, and it's about a culture of productivity. That can be in business, in loving relationships, or as a parent. Your job is to acknowledge your responsibility and nurture everyone else's. So own it. Don't outsource your accountability, your responsibility, and your duties. Don't outsource your guilt. Don't outsource your blame. Own it. We are all responsible for what happens to us. We are all responsible for what happens in our environment. It doesn't matter if it's 50%, 20%, or 5%. I will acknowledge 100% of that responsibility, and I will do 100% of what I can to fix it. So own it. And you will take control over the outcome of your life. Or don't, and give that control over to someone else. Your choice.